Welcome to our show, Quality Education. Our show is based on how important education is in one's life. We talk with renowned speakers and educationalists about the importance of quality education and how education can change one's nation. So, without any further delay, let's welcome Venkat Garu on our show. Venkat Ikkurthy is an IT professional, a data scientist. So, yes, Venkat Garu, welcome back.
Oh, thanks. Thanks very much.
Yes.
Yeah.
Venkat Garu, it's again wonderful having you on our show. So today we thought we'll discuss a very important topic that is actually happening. So a lot of students out here in India are going to be writing their most important exams of their lives, which is NEET. Some are going to be writing their NEET. Some are going to be writing their MSET, which are pretty important competitive exams. So, we thought, in that mind set that we will talk a little about the competitive exams. So firstly, is there anything you want to wish luck to all the students who are watching?
Yeah, absolutely. Competitive examinations is very, very important. And at the same time, that is the factor for their growth, particularly for this. For example, people who wants to go to engineering or even IITs. So they need to take the examinations like MSET or GRE examinations, something like this. Similarly, for people who wants to go to MBBS degree, they want to take a NEET examination. See, all these things, this is the crucial time for them to take the examinations and at the same time get the marks, how they want to utilize their time more efficiently and more effectively when they are taking these competitive examinations. So that's what exactly we want to discuss. A little bit about tips, how they want to get a good rank. Even though they have excellent knowledge, but they want to present that knowledge into these examinations that will be very, very useful.
Yes. So Venkat Garu, let's start with competitive exams. So, competitive exams are not just when you're in your 12th grade. As you grow old, there are very different competitive exams. There's something called as GATE. A lot of students, they sit and they want to prepare for civil exams, which are very important. So, how do you think the whole writing for competitive exams, how do you think the whole schedule must start? You yourself have been an educationalist for more than a decade now, and I'm pretty sure you've seen a lot of students who have failed, but again, have passed or, have achieved success. So what is that one thing, when one want to start, how do you think they must start?
So why we need competitive examinations? Because the government is conducting examinations. For example, 10th class or even intermediate or even graduation. All the universities, that means government is conducting the examinations. Simply, they want to hire people who is getting the first rank and second rank, third rank. Directly, they can hire the people. But why these competitive examinations are required? First of all, so because if there is a problem, there is some issues in academic education system. In academic education system is choice based. Choice based means, for example, when you are taking any examinations, regular examinations, there is a plenty of choices there. That means you are getting 200 marks as your question paper. And if you are taking 50% of choice, you will get 100 out of 100. So that means 50% of the syllabus student is not able to learn. Probably he may get 100%. That is the problem actually. So if we want to eliminate that problem, there is an examination is required to assess the candidate, the whole subject knowledge. So for that case, this competitive examinations came into the picture. So in this case, what happened is, up to the examination point of view, probably they are going to read like 70% or sometimes 50%, etc., everything. But in competitive examinations, they don't want to read 50% of the subject. They want to read 100%. That is required. Because these objective type questions, they are going to get it from across the subject. So that is the one important point, particularly for competitive examinations. And the second one is these are all time bound examinations. It's matter of like a 2 hours, 3 hours, sometimes 90 minutes examination, time bound. So time is very, very important. How we want to make more score, that's the important. Even though if you have a good knowledge, you need to spend a lot of time with one particular question that will kill your chances of getting a good rank. So that means how we want to take it. A lot of these examinations, right, they are going with even negative marks also. How we want to eliminate those negative marks? Even if you got like out of 100 marks, suppose you got 60 marks positive and 40 negative answers, your score is only 20. 20, even though somebody write it only 40 correct answers, he is going to get a better rank. So that means how we want to eliminate this negative marking process. See, all these things is required to get in, but more important is like time maintenance is the very important, particularly in this competitive examination. Any competitive examination, time is very, very important. Yeah.
Yes. So when you spoke about time management, I had a word with a lot of different NEET aspirants very recently. And one of them, who is successfully a doctor, she said this one thing. She was like, it doesn't matter how much you study. It is equally important on how much you do it in that 3 hours of the exams. They're like, it is very important on how much time management you do when you're actually writing down the paper, when you're answering the questions. So how important is time management, not just for preparing, but also when you're writing the exam?
That is very important. That's what exactly, because that's what I told you. Just I give an example as a person, the 100 marks question paper, he put it like 60 correct answers. That means he is getting 60 marks, and the remaining 40, he's going to put some X, Y, G, etc. Everything, he got 40 negative marks. So 60 positive, 40 negative marks. His actual score is only 20. Suppose some other person, he knows only whatever he knows it, 40 marks, 40 questions, he put only those 40, remaining 60, he did not touch it. Then what happens? He got 40 positive marks. So even though he scored 60 positive here, but he is getting very less rank, but this guy got very good rank. So that is the one thing, how we want to write the program, write the examinations. That's the one thing. And the second one is like you mentioned about the time is that, see, that's the reason which question it requires. For example, you have like 3 hours of time and you are making like 180 hours, 150 questions, for example. Then first leg is you need to make each question with only 30 seconds. 30 seconds, that's enough. Don't know, not more than that. That means first question, if you know the answer, 30 seconds, that's enough. Second question, you can think about only 30 seconds. If you don't know the answer, don't stay with that question, go to the next question. So that means out of these 150 questions, probably you may know about 50 questions. You corrected 50 questions correctly. Then 50 questions is out. And how many time is 75 minutes time, that is over. The next one is like you have 100 questions is left, then you have how much time is there? Almost 75 minutes time. So these questions you need to spend 1 minute of time, something like that. You need to manage your time in more efficient manner. That's way. Final leg, what happens? You don't know these answers for sure. Then you can leave it. That's way. Then you are getting a positive scores. Definitely that will really help. That's what you mentioned about how much you are working hard. That doesn't matter. For the examination 3 hours, how you are going to present your skills in the examination, that is very, very, very important. Even in interviews also, how much you studied, that's a different scenario. Like the 30 minutes of interview, you need to work on those. The most important period is 3 hours in that examination is the very, very important factor. Yes.
Yes. So, Mr. Ikkurthy Garu, when you see a lot of different student aspirants or whoever have actually written these competitive exams, they say something called as hard work and smart work. A lot of students say that, no, it was a smart work that I did. I mean, I took out all my syllabus and I saw what had the most weightage. I started studying them and I kind of like skipped the parts which had less weightage. So, these are some kind of smart works that students are doing. So, you being an educationist for so many years now, what do you think works? A smart worker or a hard worker?
Generally, this is whether it's a smart work or hard work, we cannot define it. But whereas for getting success, every person has their own way to get a success. So get a success is the important part. So for that case, we want to think about it, whether you got a rank or not. That's the only important. For getting the rank, which procedure? A lot of times, people are preparing a running notes. When they are studying itself, they are preparing a notes. And evening time, they are going to go with only whatever the notes they prepared. They are going to review those notes only, not with the whole subject. The whole subject contains thousands of pages of documents, but they are preparing a notes. That notes is useful for them. That is one person's approach. Other person, what he is going to do this, he wants to make some underlines with all these important points and etc. Everything. That is one thing. Somebody makes some important slips or something like that. That is different. People have different ways to work. So most of the cases, getting rank, getting results is the more important part. For that case, I don't want to say exact hard work and smart work. A combination of both hard work as well as smart work is required to get into. Suppose one particular subject I feel that is more complex, more tough. What I need to do? I need to read with that subject. For example, a BPC students, they are going to consider physics is the key factor for them. Physics seems to be tough because a lot of mathematics concepts is there in physics. What they are going to do? They need to spend a lot of time. They need to go with like a question by question answers, etc. Everything. That's one. Similarly, the same type of work is required in biology and zoology. No, that concept is a little bit different. So depending upon the subject, depending upon the complexity, depending upon your intelligence, you need to decide yourself. And for that case, you need to talk to an experienced person. Hey, what is the best way to do these things? Particularly for mathematics, for example. And when we are studying mathematics a long time back, all silver teacups. This is simple. All silver teacups means first quadrant all are positive, and second quadrant yes sign positive, third quadrant all silver tan positive, fourth quadrant cos is positive. That's why some tricks is required to remember a lot of things. So same thing like this. For example, certain laws is required. So something like this. This is the way. Say every person has their own way to combination of both hard work as well as smart work is required to get a success. But most important is, yes, they want to maintain the time management is very, very important. Because, for example, when you are taking some NEET examination, your intermediate examination is completed today. And your NEET examination is, for example, May 7th or 8th sometime. So how many days is there itself? How many days? How much subject is required to brush up those things? You need to put a perfect plan. Perfect planner is required. For that plan, depending upon that planner, and you need to work hard. Then it is finally what happened up to March 6th or 7th, you are going to revise all of your subjects in the right direction, because so examination is not that much easy. It's a more complex examination. I'm very positive. All India level examination is very complex, very competitive examination. Once they got a good rank, they will get medical seat there itself. There is no shortcuts for attending these competitive examinations. That's the more important is. There is no shortcut. You need to work hard. Of course, smart work also.
Yes. So, Venkat Garu, you just mentioned about shortcuts, and that is when I got an idea. When you were studying for competitive exams, it was very different. You had like 4 or 3 limited books from the academy, whatever, and you had to study from that, or maybe go to the library, get some more. When I was writing these kind of competitive exams, I, even though I had the university exams, there was something called as the question banks. You could go buy so many different books. We had like 10 to 15 different books, and I had to study from them. But now the generation, they're studying basically everything, not just from the books, but from the internet also. lot of resources. Then now not everybody is going to the libraries anymore. They're sitting down on their laptop and they're like, no, okay, this is the question. I have that. They have the resources from everywhere. Don't you think because of this, the competitive nature among the students have increased or decreased? And what is your view on that? Do you think just because of this, the competitive exams are as hard as it is right now?
Yes, yes, absolutely. You're right. It's a very good question, actually, because a teacher is not a substitute for Google all the time. Textbook is not a substitute for Google. Whatever the information is available at Google, not 100% that information is not correct. 100% of times that information is we are not going to trust. But whereas, of course, for reference purpose, for example, standard, what is Boyle's law, for example, applications of Boyle's law, probably you can dependent on Google, then you can get it something. But certain things, explanation wise, the teacher gives the better explanation. First of all, that's the one thing is, that's only the reason people are spending too much of money to attending the colleges. If the Google is going to provide you all that information and everything, why people wants to go to colleges and spending a lot of money and fees, etc., everything? At any point of time, Google is not going to replace the teacher. That's first basic stuff. And the second thing is like books. Suppose, for example, when you see the books, a lot of information is available in online also. First of all, that's the very, particularly for technology wise, yes, absolutely, you're right. Definitely, you will get a lot of information. But whereas certain areas, you need to dependent on books. You need dependent on for explanation point, dependent on teachers. That's the. But whatever, if you are using with internet, I mean into Google or internet, and if you are using with student notes or with different textbooks, you need to consolidate all those things into, and you need to prepare a notes by your own. That notes is really helps to crack the competitive examinations. A lot of times what happens is like suppose, for example, if you find one paper nice, you are downloading that paper. So second thing is, you will see another paper is also seems to be interesting. Then what happens? Then that is also seems to be interesting. Then you are going to download it. Then finally, what happens? Your computer is like a trash can. For example, just a trash can. That's going to happen. So that is the reason. Whatever is required, what is not required, that is more important. There, the internet is gives like a lot of problems. For example, whatever the information is there, just simply are downloading. I have like 6 terabytes of hard drives that contains a lot of information. I never see that information. When I need it, I am going to check certain papers. Or when you see the back sides, there are important books, I'm going to grab the books. I'm going to do this. See, this is the way internet is useful only for certain extent. Don't depend it 100% on internet. Of course, getting the results, your internet, your professors, your textbooks, you need to prepare your notes. That's very important. That's really helps to crack this type of competitive examinations.
Yes. Yep. So, Venkat Garu, let's talk a little about, how because of this competitive nature, a lot of different competitive exams have come, and you are seeing a lot of different competitive institutes also. Every other, you be in India. Let's just say you be in India. You look on your right, there's like an education institute. You look on your left, there's an education institute, and a lot of this is kind of putting the students and parents in a dilemma. They're like, oh my God, my child has to study for these amount of hours. They think that unless and until they don't study for 16 hours, they will not be, successful in whatever they're doing. So to change this kind of mindset of the parents, is there anything that you want to talk to the parents who are watching the show?
That is always we are discussing about certain things. Comparison. The comparison comes into the picture. Suppose, for example, when a college, when a competitive college or when a competitive institute, they are going to mention degree with the civil services. For example, they are going to mention degree with the civil services. That means the civil services minimum qualification is graduation. Agreed. But whereas what they are going to do, they are going to take it. Suppose, for example, I don't want to comment. I don't want to criticize the subjects. I don't want to criticize. But if you want to become like a civil servant, you need to go. Civil servant means IAS and IPS, etc. Everything. Their way of thinking should be different. They are able to see the problem in a different perspective. Similarly, they want to read the subject also in a different approach. Suppose if you consider about 1,000 civil servants, those who got IAS, IPS ranks, what is their basic degree? What is their basic degree? Their basic degree is like BTech from IITs or MBBS, very few people, and IIMs, etc. This out of this 1,000, I'm very positive 900 people basic degree is with the technology subject or related to mathematics. But what is their optionals? Their optionals is they are going to take it Telugu literature, public administration, etc. Everything. Suppose a person degree with intermediate with civic CEC group, degree with same public administration, etc., masters in the public administration, PhD with the public administration, he is not able to crack the civil servant. But a person with a technology background, I mean mathematical sciences background people, they are able to understand the public administration subject, and they are going to write the civil services examination with optionals. It may be public administration, anthropology, Telugu literature, etc. Everything. Why? Because this guy is studying across all the way the same subject, is unable to crack that civil services examination. Why those people got success? They're reading subject in a different way, different approach. That is the more important. That's what I told you. I know a couple of people with their civil servants, they are writing a notes. They are writing a running notes when they are preparing certain things. That notes is very, very helpful for them to crack those competitive examinations. So that's the one thing. So learning mathematics is the very important. When you see this one, learning mathematics is like a mathematics person can learn any subject so fast. That's the advantage in the mathematics side. Mathematics person can learn. For example, in US, a lot of these IT professionals, they got good success. Why? Because Indians are strong in mathematics. That's the one reason they are able to learn this programming, learn the new technologies so fast. That is the advantage. Same thing here also. A BTech graduate having with mathematics, they want to go to civil servants or civil services side. Then they are able to learn the new subjects very fast. They are going to present in their own way. Mathematical approach is required. So that is the reason parents, for example, if your kids is very fond of, I want to do medicine for sure, then you need to think about like a BIPC group. Otherwise, keep them into mathematics side. If you are moving towards mathematics side, definitely there should be a problem. A mathematics graduate can learn commerce or accountancy, any other subjects so fast. But coming back to reverse, a accounting person can learn mathematics so fast? No, it's not possible. It's really tough. So that's the reason my sincere advice for all these parents, if your kid is very much interested with MBBS or like that much, then you can put them into BIPC or some other group. Otherwise, better to keep them in mathematics side. Definitely that will be advantage because they can do with the BTech, they can go with IITs, they can do BSc with the mathematics, etc. A lot of opportunities are there. If you are going to other direction, probably they may lose all these opportunities. That is the that's what my main concern is, particularly for the mathematics side.
Yes. Finally, Venkat Garu, anything motivational that you want to say to the students who will be writing their exams or are preparing for the most important competitive exams?
There is no shortcut for examinations. The first step is like whatever you want to do this, as you can do this. For example, in examination side, you need to make your examinations is only an examination. Definitely you will get it. Those who are getting a ranks, they used their time, the 3 hours of time in a more efficient manner. Better to use those time also in very efficient manner, no stress, no tensions, nothing. Take your examination as examination. Definitely you will get a success.
Yes. Anything about putting up a backup plans? Because a lot of students, the mental issues are very, important topic right now. But, let's say, God forbidden, there's nothing has happened there. There's no harm in putting up a backup plan, and anything that you want to say for the students to just keep a backup plan ready. Do you think it's
Yeah,
right?
yeah, backup plan is very important because, for example, if you are writing suppose, for example, MSET or getting good rank, suppose if you are not able to get a good rank, nothing to worry. Better to go and join with the BSc with the mathematics, computer science, some statistics, some other courses. Definitely that course has an excellent demand. Then after that, you can go with like MBA or MCA, something. That is one backup plan. If you are able to get the BTech, like, so should be fine. If you are not able to get a good rank in BTech when MSET, so don't worry about it. We have a backup plan with the degree with the mathematics, physics, chemistry, something like that. Then after that, day one itself, you need to concentrate. I want to get my MTech, my MBA seat in IIMs. That's what you need to do this. That's our backup plan. Definitely when you are going with IIMs, not 90% of IIMs, their graduation is from IITs. So you both are in same place. So that's the reason. Nothing to worry about it. Always you should have a backup plan. So if something is going to be happen, it should be good. Otherwise, this is also good. Then definitely we can help you on those things.
Yes. Yes. Thank you so much, Venkat Garu. I think in the next episode, we can talk a little bit more about, how everybody should be ready for, a lot of different changes in our lives. So again, without any further delay, let's end this show. Thank you so much again for joining in. Thank you for the viewers for tuning in. You're watching Sakshi TV with me, Shivani Raj.
Sure.